that goes by. People always ask me why black holes. Listen up, baby girl, shit, I'm about to let you know why I always had a black holes. Whoa, 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 whoa. They talking shit up in my comments. Yeah, they don't know, but I'm about to block them. Cause every day, I block hoes. They be being shady, yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa. Cause you know I block hoes, baby. In different area codes, baby. You never know, but I block.
Hey y'all, happy Friday. What is up, everybody? Shout out to y'all. Thank y'all for being tuned in on this good old Friday, baby. Listen, we got a whole lot to talk about. Shout out to y'all for holding down the chisel. Okay, listen. I was fixing my coffee. I was waiting on some info to be dropped in the DM because y'all got a lot of questions. You know, y'all came under my post where I put the eyes, and y'all been asking me a lot of questions. So I'll be trying my best to get accurate, well, you know, as factual as possible information. Okay? Listen. But anyways, let me see who we got up in here so we can get our little weekend dialogue started. Cause it's Friday, y'all. I don't know what y'all got planned. I don't have nothing planned. Actually, I'm still tired from my trip, so I don't think I'm gonna do nothing today but relax and work on some content, some videos. Cause I'm gonna put together a little vlog for y'all from my trip that I recorded, and I'm gonna post it. Okay. Anyways, let me see who we got up in here so we can get started on this dialogue. Hey, Miss Love Mail. You say, hey, look, I can chat trouble in her so-called paradise again. Laugh aloud. Now she's back home being a mother. Let's see how long this lasts. Y'all, a lot going on. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Hey, sweet queen. Thank you for holding on the chat, my love. Hey, Miss Geraldine. Hey, Mila. Snooky. Shout out to you. Hey, Marcy. Hey, Nana Karen. Miss Geneva. We got Miss Tracy. Latte in the building. Jaquita. Who else? Mr. Reese. We got, wait, Miss Tracy Ryder. We got Alexis, Blessed Beyond Measures in the building. Miss Lolita, Miss Stephanie K. Brown, Miss Cassandra, Miss Annette, Miss Patricia, Integrity. We got Jaisha, Miss Michelle Spikes, Miss Duncan, Miss E. Ramona. Who is this? Santoya. Okay, shout out to you. I'm chosen. Love you. Shout out to all my mods that's constantly holding down the chat for your girl. It is greatly appreciated, I swear. Hey, Michaela, the soul of a woman. Shout out to you, my love. Who else we got up in here? Hey, bro, Terry. Thank you for the copyrights and the fair use. Who else? Who else? Lakeisha in the building. Micheline. We got Kat Onyx, Leah Rowe, Miss Jeanette, Miss Melody. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Bear with me. Hey, JJ. Hey, SC Island. Hey, Miss Lisa. Hey, Montez, Renita, Tony Lightner in the building. France in the building. Miss E. I am her. Shout out to you. Shout out to all my people that's still working. Hey, Angela B. Hey, Malibu Genies. Meet us. Crete in the building. Miss Vonda, Scorpio Steams. Talks with Tony. Okay. Who else? Let me see. Caramel Cutie. We've got Miss Cynthia Craig, Miss Lolita, Miss Sandra, Miss Marlena, LaShawn. Let me see, let me see. Tokyo Blues, Miss Rebecca Bell, Miss Pamela, Empress Vibes, Miss Nina, J Chopper. I think I'm done though. Miss D, Miss Dee Dee, Miss Lynette. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Miss C to you. Hey Lily. Hey Latanya. Hey Miss Angela Dickerson. Hey Nita M. Y'all coming in hot, baby. Hey Martha Blanca. Let me see. Hey Miss Cynthia Crab. Queen Money Stove Game. Okay. Kat, I know you got questions because you was one of the ones who started it off in the chat. Hey Jazz So Jazzy. Hey Miss Beverly. Hey Brandy. Gemini Rising. Y'all, it's a lot going on. It is a lot going on. I have questions also, even though we know they ain't gonna get answered still. Hey, respectfully, April. Hey, Miss Denise. Hey, Tyrese with the T. Key in the building. Miss Sheeta to you, Kissy. Miss Gloria. Okay, Natia, Sid. Shout out to y'all. Shawnee, who me? Yeah, you. Who else we got? Miss Lovely. Um, is that it? Hey, Treasure Life. Hey, Miss Sandra. Hey, Miss Janie. Okay, Brittany in the building. Hey, Monet, Miss Lonnie. Thank you, my love, for the super support. You are appreciated. Jubilee. Okay, Nunu. All right, y'all, let me stop because y'all gonna start getting on me if I keep naming everybody. Y'all know how I do. Y'all know how I do. Okay, but anyways, as y'all can see the title, let me see. Somebody just sent me something. Okay, I'll check that later. But as y'all can see the title, breakup number 1023. It could be more than that, but who knows? What excuse will be made for Johnell this time? And the reason why I say that is because as we all know, it is a pattern of behavior, right? Any and every time a breakup happens, it's always a chain of online events that takes place before the big blowout, right? Even though me personally, I don't think that she's going to come out here and put it on the floor. I don't think she's gonna do that this time because it will really make her people look bad. Seeing as how they created a narrative that I'm telling this to y'all. I don't want them to know. They created a narrative that Johnell was in counseling, that he been seeing a therapist. Keep this between me and y'all. How is that possible if they didn't broke up already? Let me stop. But it's true though, y'all. Like I can't believe these people really started that narrative that this man was in counseling. Can you make that make sense? That man said he was not going to see no therapist until she cleaned up everything that she messed up on the internet. Did she do that yet? Somebody let me know because I haven't seen it done. And that's the thing about when you put something on the internet, baby, you just because you delete the video don't mean that it's gonna go away. Because it's still here. People are still talking about him being an abuser, according to her, right? So, and I wouldn't be surprised if that hasn't contributed to this breakup, right? Because people gonna talk. You can't. The internet does not have an on and off switch. It doesn't work like that. You can't turn people off when you want them to turn off just because y'all done made amends or y'all done had some makeup sex or whatever, child. It don't work like that. It do not work like that. But I seen a few people asking. Shout out to everybody that's coming in. I see y'all coming through. I see the comments flowing. If y'all would like to donate to me monetarily because you enjoy this content, you can cash at me $sign Lupac one. You can also buy me a coffee. Shout out to all my coffee people. You can also support the platform by getting a super chat or a super sticker. I do have a goal set. It is not mandatory, but it is greatly appreciated as it contributes to the revenue of this particular live stream. You can also support the platform by getting a membership. Shout out to all my members. I do have a goal set to try to get 3 to 5 new members every live stream. So if you are not a member and you want to get in on the exclusive tea and members only, you got to get that membership, baby. Okay? Get that membership. And we will have a members only live this Sunday. This Sunday we're gonna do a big one. Um, and hit the like button. That's free. You can't be free. Okay. Anyways, back to the tea, right? So we having girl talk, y'all, and we got a few fellas in the building also. But anyways, so I seen a few people saying, well, asking me, Pop, what is going on? Because we seen a video that LaOnya put out. Let me see. Hold on. I might have it. But some of y'all might have never heard the video. Did they have music in it? I think it had music in it, right? But she was talking about some charges, not charges, something dealing with CPS. I could have sworn I had that video. Let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let's still in Messenger. But she did a video, and I might not be able to play it because I think it had music in the background. But she did a video where she was speaking on charges being thrown out. And one of the things I don't think people caught was when she said, despite them having evidence. Make sure y'all keep that in mind. Because if y'all remember her rant that she did when they were in wherever her and Janashas went on vacation this last time, y'all remember where she was saying people are constantly calling CPS on her and reporting her to CPS or whatever. Um, she said with false claims, right? So I don't know anything about that because I don't do stuff like that. I would never call CPS on anyone unless I am a direct witness to neglect or abuse. That's the only way I would ever call, because I strongly believe in mothers having their kids, right? So I would have to be a direct witness, meaning seeing something for myself, not third party, not, this person told me that. No, I would have to see abuse myself or neglect myself for me to even do that. But she was ranting about people constantly calling on her when you could tell that it was an adjutant for her. Like she was real in her feelings about it. Like it was bothering her when she said it because she was going off, child. But in her most recent video, the one that I just told y'all about, where she was praising worshiping, she said that some charges were, no, something was thrown out despite them having evidence verbatim. That's what she said. If you don't believe me, it's on her page, I think, unless she posted it on Snap. But when you say despite them having evidence, that means for the ones in the back, they had evidence of whatever neglect or whatever she was accused of, but they still threw it out. And that's word of mouth, honestly, because we don't even know the whole situation. We don't know what it was in reference to. We don't know what she was charged with or accused of. None of that. We don't know that. But the fact that she said out of her own mouth, this is where you guys to pay attention, y'all. She said out of her own mouth that they threw it out despite them having evidence. And we all know what evidence is. So when you get on here and you hear people saying, "Oh, she's a great mother. Oh my God, child," these people will literally look at this girl post a video, a 3-second video, patting one of the twins on the back, and they'll say she's a, oh, I could tell you a great mother. I'd be like, bro, social media is hell. Okay. But anyways, y'all, I just be seeing stuff like that and I'll be tripping out because I'm like, how can you tell if somebody is a great mother? I'm not excluded from that because I don't post none of my business. I post my children's accomplishments and stuff like that. But y'all rarely see because I'm a firm believer in keeping your business off the internet, especially if you don't want unwarranted and unwanted opinions. That's why I don't post my business on social media. I post what I want people to see, and that's it. I know I'm a great mother. I don't need nobody to tell me, okay? My kids are validation for that. So I just don't understand when people say that. Like they'll post a little small clip, 3 to 10 seconds, and here go the dummies in the comments talking about, oh, she's a great mother. Y'all, these people say anything. Or them looking at the back of the baby's heads and be like, "Oh, they look just like they daddy." I could tell. They even had some saying, "Oh my God, that baby got Johnell head." Anyways, let's get off of that because y'all know they quick to say, "Oh, they be talking about the cheering." And we know that's not the case. I would never talk about nobody's babies. Babies are innocent. Like I say all the time, kids cannot choose their parents. They're innocent bystanders in all situations. But um, it's a lot of confusion surrounding that video that she posted. That's why I'm bringing it up, y'all. And I don't know how people then got that video intertwined with the uh the nude photo incident. I don't know how we getting that mixed up. I'm confused, y'all, because I see people saying, that they feel like it was dropped or whatever. So I got one of my sources to do a little research, and this is straight from court records. What I'm about to say, I read it myself. The state picked it up. It's still at a standstill when it comes to the new photo. So whatever Laonia is referring to, that's something totally different. But when it comes to the nude photo, that is in the state's hand. Is at a standstill. And I just looked at the document. That's why I hadn't. Whenever I hit the live button, if y'all notice, I wasn't talking at first because the document had just came to me. So it's still saying it was turned over to the state. So I don't know. You know, that's it. That was kind of confusing because I think people are confusing what she was saying, but I'm thinking that's something totally different. What she was referring to is some CPS stuff based on what she said. But as far as the new photo is concerned, the state picked it up. That's it. That's all. I mean, take it up. Take it up with the courts. Take it up with the courts, y'all. That's still wherever it's at. I do remember people saying a while back that um they was wondering why it was taking so long with the whole process of the new photo. And I remember it being said that the courts was so backed up they pushed it to the next year. So I don't know what's going on with that process. I don't know about Georgia courts and stuff like that and how long it takes because I'm in Louisiana, baby. So I don't know, y'all, but I do know that it says that the state picked it up. That's it. It don't say nothing about he dropped the charges. It don't say nothing about she was charged. It says that the state picked it up and it's a misdemeanor. That's it. And Far as I know, when it's involving a misdemeanor, I don't think nothing too much is going to come from it. That's just me personally because it's a misdemeanor. It's I do know that I can tell y'all this. Whenever they went to court for it, RH was trying to get it turned over to a felony, but the judge denied it. So it's still a misdemeanor, right? Anyways, that's that. But like I said, I don't know about the whole CPS situation because I don't think that that's court public record. Like when it comes to CPS cases and stuff like that, I honestly don't believe that they make that public record. If y'all know, then y'all can fill me in. But if it was, I guarantee my source would have got a hold of it. Because baby, listen, she don't play. So I haven't heard anything about that. Um, hey to everybody that's coming in. You say, nah, because that lady that helped her live said that on her live. Lupac, I think she was talking about the thing with RH with when she said charges was thrown out. But the thing is, she said they was trying to take her kids, y'all. That was all in the same video. So I think that whatever it was, it had to do with CPS. I don't think unless she did go to court for the nude situation and it's not updated in court records because I can only go off of what I see, y'all. And they do take a while to update the record. So, I can keep y'all posted as far as that's concerned. But I do remember hearing from that video that she did, she was crying about her possibly losing her kid. I don't know how that's in a nude photo where it's a misdemeanor could interject, if that's making sense. So I don't know. I think people getting it confused based on what she said. Just because we don't know. We don't know what she actually was talking about because she didn't give no details on it. She just said charges were thrown out and I almost lost my kid. So when I hear that, I'm automatically thinking something involving CPS. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens, y'all. We'll see what comes about, right? We'll see what comes about. But anyways, for the ones in the back that are confused, there is something going on as far as the nostrils and Laonia is concerned. Something definitely transpired. She is back at home with all of her kids. Not just two. She's back at home with all of her kids. Something definitely went on. And she's basically letting everybody know by posting subliminally. Okay. Let me go to the first one. Because this she posted, she actually was trying to tell everybody the other day, y'all. But I don't think people really paid attention to it. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Hold on. Let me drink some of my drink before I start reading this and lose my voice. I agree, Sassy M. Definitely a sympathy bait. Definitely. That's another thing. And shout out to you for that comment. If y'all pay attention, she has a this is another part of her pattern of behavior. Anytime her and Janashos are going through something, she tends to come out here crying, and it's a whole lot of confusion surrounding it because it gives subliminal, like she gives all kind of different subliminals, but she'll be crying about one thing and people will be thinking she's crying about something specifically, but it could be about something totally different. And I honestly believe that's what it is. I think when she was crying is because of what she's going through on the back end with him. Think about the pattern of behavior with him. She will literally come out here crying about something, but she'll be in her feelings about something totally different. And then we'll find out later based on her crashing out. Pay attention, y'all. So if y'all remember, she posted this the other day. And nobody really, caught on to it because nothing was really going on. She didn't really post those subliminals around that time. So she posted in her story, shout out to the mothers. Still, wait, no. Shout out to the mothers raising and still raising their children. No one can say they raise your children if they haven't even hit adulthood yet. We do know that that's a subliminal towards our age, right? Because she's basically saying, as you know, we have been saying for the longest that RH contributed to raising her kids, help raising her kids. And it don't matter if they haven't hit adulthood yet, because when he first got with her, those kids were stepladders. They were small. They were toddlers when he first got with her. When they broke up, 2 out of the 3 were teenagers. That's a very crucial time to be in kids' life, y'all. So to say he didn't contribute to help raising them because they're not adults yet is crazy. Because you can make a big difference in a child's life, especially between those age ranges, because a lot of things happen in Black homes around that time frame when kids are small. And we all know, especially if you done been through something traumatic in your childhood during that age range, it contributes to you becoming an adult and it affects you as an adult also. So thank God your kids didn't go through that. It's the fact that they can't get this man not a piece of credit. Like what? I'm gonna play. Hopefully, I don't forget to play this. Y'all remind me to play a audio, um, straight from her before we get off this live. Remind me to play it because I've been forgetting to play it. Thank you, Lakeith. Thank you for your support, my love. Okay, hold on. Let me finish reading this. But I just don't get it. Why constantly keep throwing subs at this man? If anything, it's giving the exact opposite. When somebody is constantly saying one thing, 9 times out of 10 is the exact opposite. Because if you feel like RH didn't play a vital role in your kid's life, you, for one, you wouldn't have wanted him to still be in their life after the separation. Because if y'all remember when she did her Just Being Brianna show, the very first episode that had the kids on it, she asked them, do y'all prefer mommy single or married? Or do y'all want me to be single and y'all still get to spend time with him? And they said, we like you single, we still want to spend time with him. Him meaning Robert, not their biological daddy. So I'm confused. Because if he didn't play a role, then why would you ask your kids that on camera? Why would they say they still want to spend time with a man that's not biologically their dad when y'all done broke up? Make it make sense. Like stop. That's what we be talking about. Stop coming out here trying to play on people and gaslight people when you know that's not what really happened. You know doggone well, and that's why people don't. So that's exactly why you can't get the support that you want from majority of these women, because most women see the play. Most women that went through similar experiences and know what time it is. You still bitter and you still storm behind that marriage, and that's why you're constantly doing what you're doing. But you contradicting yourself. Because if you don't want people to believe you're a liar, then if we look back at all the things she said while she was with RH, y'all, if you said every good thing you ever said about this man was a lie, then what does that say about you? What does that say about you? If everything you ever said on camera about your ex-husband was a lie when it came to him being a great husband and a great father, then what does that say about you and your character? Somebody help me out. That means that everything you ever said was a lie, right? If he wasn't a great dad to your kids, if he wasn't a great husband to you, that means that everything you ever said was a lie. And I highly doubt that. Now you definitely a liar, but you wasn't lying all them times. Ain't no way. Ain't nobody praising nobody that doggone much, and all of it is a lie. Child, make it make sense. So hold on. And the crazy part of it all, y'all, is Even when, if y'all notice, when she came out and do her story time about Janostrals, she even said herself that he was a good person at one point. Y'all remember that when she did her story time? She was like, he was a good person at one point and he started changing. Da, 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 da. Why you can't even give RH that credit? That's the part I don't understand. That's why people still feel like you're still bitter and you're still scorned. Because there's no way you could say that you was with that man for 6 years, you remarried him and foot the whole bill yourself if that man was an absolute devil. It's not making sense, baby. And that's why people not standing with you because you don't even stand on what you say. You want people to believe that this man was complete hell. Everything you say is a contradiction. So we supposed to believe that this man was a complete devil when you remarried him and paid for the entire wedding. I don't understand it. What's up, Weezy out of here? You say she really hates RH. Yes, she does. And that's why I always say it's a thin line between love and hate. Because she really hates him, but she is giving you still love that man. Because it ain't that much hate in the world 2 years later. Y'all better peep the play, especially the ones in the back that say they support her. Peep the play. It ain't that much hate in the world. And you still dwelling on it. Because when a real man come into a woman's life after she claims she done been through some ish, that real man, when it's real love and he really putting it on the flow about you, you ain't gonna still be dwelling on your past years later. Subliminally or directly. You will not still be dwelling if you got it made with your new man. Even though we know she don't because she done already put it on the floor about Janasco. But it's just a fact. Like, and this is me speaking to the women. As a woman, if you done been through some ish, if you know you got experiences, then you should know what time it is. And that go for the ones who agree and don't agree. Because I know y'all watching too. The ones who don't agree with me watching too. And how I know is because that like button ain't matching. So the fact that y'all constantly watching, that alone lets me know y'all agree to some point. Cause ain't no way. Ain't take your emotions out of it and peep the play. It's no way. It's no way. This lady will literally um jump in the middle, cut him off while he's talking, or H, while he's talking and speaking some real ish, just to throw a subliminal at her last baby daddy. But you mean to tell me he been there? If y'all don't stop the cap, it ain't that much riding in the world. Like, make it make sense. So hold on, y'all. Let's finish reading this. We ain't done. We ain't done. Cause she threw some subliminals here. Let me start over. She say, shout out to the mothers raising and still raising their children. No one can say they raise your children if they haven't even hit adulthood yet. Yes, they can. I am so honored to be a mother when it comes to my six, they only have had their grandpa and daddy who's been involved in helping raise and still raising them. That's subs at our age, right? The fact this is what bothers me about this. Like, girl, please stop. Please stop. Because you're only making it worse for yourself. Because the crazy part is you say all of this publicly, but on the back end, that when you talking to your friends and you telling your friends how the first baby daddy don't step for real, but you will literally come out publicly and try to make it seem like he been involved. Please stop the cap. We didn't seen situations. If y'all remember, I posted a photo that her dad, Daddy Longleg, walked, posted in his story. It was a throwback picture of RH, him, and them children. Laonya wasn't even in the picture. They were sitting down at a table eating at some restaurant. Walter posted that a few months back as if he was reminiscing. Because one thing about Walter, he gonna tell on them. He's gonna tell on them, whether it's directly or indirectly. Who remember that? Who remember that picture Walter posted in his story on Facebook a couple months back with RH? Them children looked like they was on vacation. They was at some type of resort or something because they was all sitting at a table eating food or whatever. And RH was in the picture, Walt was in the picture, and all the kids. Laonia wasn't even in the picture. It gave that she took the picture. So I'm confused. Your daddy posted that. Why he ain't post a throwback with the first baby dad? Why he ain't post a recent with Johnell? Why you on social media trying to convince people that your ex-husband didn't play a role in your kid's life is crazy. Maturity is owning up, taking accountability, and speaking some real it. That's true maturity. When you can still be bitter, you can still be in your feelings about a past relationship, but you can admit to some real ish, that's true maturity. That's when we gonna see a difference in you. When you get on your platform and you say, hey, I don't like the way things is going between me and my ex-husband, my third to last child's father, but I have to admit he did play a vital role in helping me with my kids when my baby daddy was absent, because you the one who came on here and told us he was absent. One, while y'all trying to act like he been there, you the one, RH didn't make you go live on TikTok, hiding in the bedroom, doing story times about your first baby daddy. He didn't make you do that. He didn't even know you was doing it, matter of fact, because he was just as shocked as the world when he seen those videos. He was just as shocked. He was like, wow, she was with me. I didn't know she was in the room on live talking about her first baby daddy, crying and talking about what he don't do. You did that, baby. Why you trying to convince the world that this man been there for them kids? Why? Why are you lying? Now, we ain't saying he ain't never been there or he wasn't. You, matter of fact, if y'all go back to that first episode of her Just Being Brianna show, you will see where she also had a secondary conversation, because the first one was about them spending time with RH, who's not the biological father. The secondary, meaning second conversation that was had, was about the biological dad. And that was after they broke up. If y'all remember, she did that Just Being Brianna show after her and her ex-husband broke up. So when she had the second conversation with them, that alone, that's why I say peep the plate. That alone, just the order of the conversation should tell you something. She said, and what would y'all like to see more from your dad, your real dad? She have to specify. Anytime you got to specify between dad and stepdad, real dad, biological dad, and stepdad, that should tell you something. If that man stood on business behind his kids and he always been involved, she would have never had to say, what would y'all like to see more from your dad, your real dad? Ain't no real dad. It's daddy. If he's vital, if he's been there, you don't have to put an exaggeration on or extra title. Daddy is daddy, baby. If that man was present, your kids would have never been calling RH daddy, because they wouldn't have had to. They already knew they had a daddy that was active and present. Who y'all trying to fool? That's what I don't understand. And that's why you're not getting the respect that you want on social media. Stop playing with people. Get that hate out your heart. You constantly talking about God on your platform, but yet you hate your ex. You ain't forgave that man. That's not forgiveness. Forgiveness is not constantly throwing subliminals and not giving him his credit when we all know if this man was such a devil, you would have never married him twice. Because we all seen those text messages between you and Dawn where you was telling them the wedding was off because RH told you you never made him happy the entire however many years of y'all marriage. You was in your feelings and you said, but y'all can still come and enjoy yourself, but it won't be a wedding because, I'm not gonna keep how she said that. I'm not gonna keep trying and somebody is saying I don't make them happy. Make it make sense. But you still married him and footed the bill. I'm not understanding. Who gon' first of all, this is why I say people the receipts are there. If people just gotta go look at it, take the emotions out of it, take the personal investments out of it, and go look at the receipts for yourself. Ain't no if this man didn't play a role in those kids' lives and upbringing, why would she have a conversation with her kids on camera as to if they still want him in their life? And they said, yeah, we still want to spend time with him. The only reason why that didn't happen is because Johnell came into the situation. It's an actual time of events validating it. He came into the situation, and that's when she started the whole hate train for her ex-husband. Because before Johnell came, if you look at everything that happened before Johnell came into the picture, you would see that her and RH were co-parenting with all the kids. Not just Momo, all of them. RH was still showing up to birthday celebrations. They all was dressed in Burberry. They wasn't together. They was living in two different homes. He sent Lala gifts for her birthday where she got on camera. Thank you, Daddy. I love you. She sure wasn't talking to Sleepy. I'm confused. That's the part I don't understand. Stop blaming this man for what social media is doing. Because if you keep blaming him, y'all will never get to a point of peace. Never. He ain't blaming you for what your crew doing. And we done heard on audio them people admitting to you throwing rocks and hiding your hands, coming out here saying you want stuff to stop, but still sending them stuff on the back end. Make it make sense. He is not coming out here saying, "Oh, it's my ex-wife. She putting the battery in people back. She making them do this. No. He's holding these grown people accountable for their own actions, and you need to do the same. And until you do that, you ain't gonna never have no peace with this man because he cannot be held accountable for every single person on social media that does not like your behavior. That is crazy. And that's what she doing, y'all. We heard her on live saying, "Oh, I just gotta prove he's putting the battery in these people backs." In that many people backs? Are you crazy? You can't be serious. So you mean to tell me you really believe that every single person that does content on you or says something about you that's not in your favor, this man is putting a battery in their back? Do he have that type of power or don't he? Because one minute y'all saying he ain't ish, he broke, he this, he that, and the next minute y'all acting like he's God. I'm confused. We got 549 in the building. Make sure y'all running the likes up for your girl. If y'all can help with my super chat goal, that would be greatly appreciated. If you can't, just run them likes up. Run them likes up, okay? But y'all, I just don't understand it. Like, and that's what we actually want to see. They thinking it's hate surrounding this situation. Granted, it is a lot of people that have strong dislikes for you lie on you, but it's due to your actions because a lot of people are seeing you throw rocks and hide your hands. You have not been positive for 2 years. You have not been silent for 2 years, baby. You have not. I don't know what you consider silent, but if you were silent, we wouldn't have no content. Because we ain't just pulling content out the wind. It's your posts and deletes. You can't say you silent just because you sneakily go live and then delete it shortly after. That's not silent. You was very loud. Very loud. I don't know if she thinks when she say I've been silent, I don't know if she's saying that because she's addressing content creators doing content on her. Like, oh, I haven't been saying nothing directly to them. But that's how you can differentiate when people are actually doing content, baby. We're doing content on you. It's not personal. It's based off of what you're putting out. Make it make sense. She gets on her platform and try to make it seem like everybody just don't like her and people just hate her and they jealous and they this and they that when it's content. Just because you don't like it don't mean it ain't that. And that's why I be telling people when people say certain things like, oh, it's harassment or it's stalking, it's defaming, just because they saying it don't make it true. They're saying that because they don't like it. They don't like being spoken on. They don't like the bad behavior being put under a magnifying glass. Because I wanna come online and catch a tantrum and then be able to delete it and nobody say nothing. That's not how social media works. And y'all know for the longest I've been saying, she will not have peace on her platform until she makes it right. And this is why I feel like she gives when they constantly throwing that narc word out here. Lord have mercy, throw the whole word away. Because one, you actually have to be diagnosed. It takes intensive studies to actually be diagnosed as a narc. And ain't nobody on this internet qualified. One, y'all seeing online behaviors and diagnosing people as a narc. That's some crazy work. Now you can say, and this is how you know a lot of people are uneducated, because you can say they have the qualities, they have the traits, but to just outright call them that with no expertise, no extensive research, no certification is crazy. That's like you looking at somebody's content and calling them a serial K based off of their content. Make it make sense. So she says, I am so honored to be a mother, and when it comes to my six, they only have had their grandpa and daddy who's been involved in helping raise and still raising them. Hats off to them. You know what really make my itch about this post is the fact that you talking about 6 children with 3 different baby daddies, right? Sleepy didn't father all 6 of those kids. Just the first 3, then Momo for RH, and now the twins for Johnell. But you speaking as if Sleepy fathered all those kids. I'm confused because when you say nobody contributed to raising your 6, but Sleepy and your daddy, is crazy when we can literally see RH is paying child support. Because we all know one thing about you, Miss Queen Validation, you gonna put something on the internet. If that man wasn't paying his child support, you gonna let the world know. Just like you did when he was 14 days late one time. You made sure we knew he was 14 days late. So He's paying his child support, and might I add, it's a nice chunk for one child. And matter of fact, he's the only one of the three paying child support and doing extra because we see him shopping with Momo. We see her going all of these different places, right? He gets her every visitation unless you do some crazy ish like you did for the last visit and showed up to the old pickup spot. So I'm confused, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people are confused as to why you're giving credit to a man that don't even live in the same state with you. He a FaceTime dad. You got a daddy that's what, 20 minutes away from you, 10, 15, 20 minutes away from you, that's actually showing up. That's how you know it's still some bitterness in your heart when it comes to this man. It's still hate in your heart when it comes to this man because you yourself then came on your platform clapping back at people, letting people know all my baby daddy's step. So how we go from all my baby daddy's step to this? Now Sleepy the only one getting credit. Girl, y'all, it's no way in hell I would give credit to a man publicly, but be behind the scenes talking to my friends about what it really is with him. Ain't that much validation in the world. Because when you do that, you really putting your kids last. Putting your kids first is letting people know that I'm the mama. I'm the one who stepped. That's putting your kids first. Not lying and putting a baby dad on a pedestal just because he co-signed your BS on social media. There's no way in HELL. We can see that them kids are always with you. How is he stepping again? How is he stepping them when it looked like he get them once or twice a year? How is that stepping? It's hard to raise a child if you're not in the home. When since y'all always talking about God, you and him, then y'all should know that. Let alone being in a whole other state. Now I could see if she was giving the credit to just her and her daddy, but you included him when we know what time it is. We see what's going on. Walter have them three more than he do. And RH be having his child. The fact that she having issues with her third baby daddy, which is Johnell, but she won't tell on him though, because she don't want the world to look at her in a certain light because she knows that regardless of what she say at this point, people are going to side eye her because she keep putting her business on the internet. That's why don't get distracted by what she's saying about RH subliminally in this post, y'all. Peep the play. Peep that she didn't mention the nostrils either. Don't get distracted because that's what she's been doing the whole saga. That's why a lot of times we thought that she was subbing RH, but she was really talking about them twins' dad. That's who she would be talking about. But she wouldn't put it out there and she would allow people to believe that she was talking about RH. Because she didn't want people to see her in another failed relationship. Remember? That was her words. I'm confused. We see her mention, and this is why I say a lot of people let this post go clean over their head. Because she sub RH so much in the post to where you don't even see that she's talked that Jonostrils is included. She didn't say him. She didn't say the only ones that contributed to helping raise my six is my daddy, Sleepy, and the twins' daddy. She said her daddy and Sleepy. That's it. That's it. Don't get distracted. So she says Hats off to them. Always give love to your support team because you can be in a relationship and still be a single parent, and you could be married and still be a single parent. Give credit when it's due, always to your support system because baby, being a mother is far from easy. Um, where if you was single, a single parent, even when you was married and this and that, why are you giving credit to Sleepy? Why is he getting credit? You can't be a single parent and still credit the daddy. A single parent is a single parent, period. That's because deep down she really want to include him in it. But she don't want to throw him off because she know he co-signs her BS on social media. That's why she giving him fake flowers. Because it's really not that. How you think, child, we don't even need to know all the details to see that this man lives in a whole other state and the kids are always with you. So how is he active again? How is he present? How can you be present if you're not around? FaceTime and don't count, baby. FaceTime and don't help raise kids. And that's why you yourself asked them cheering on the first episode of your show. What would y'all like to see more from y'all dad? Y'all real dad. Verbatim. That's what she said. And they said, spending a little more time. Interesting. That's one thing about social media, baby. Once you put it out here, is them contradictions gonna show. That's why you gotta be real careful about what you put out here, especially when you being deceptive. Because the truth stands alone. The truth don't need no context. It be them lies that you gotta keep stacking to make it stick. Because people with some sense, they gonna peep the play every single time. Everybody ain't gonna let y'all play in their face. Everybody ain't that starstruck to where they just gonna believe every single thing that y'all say as an influence. It don't work like that. You got some that will, but everybody ain't falling for the foolery. Hold on, y'all. Let's see. Matter of fact, I might still have it in my CapCut. That video that I want to, because I played it for y'all before. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Hold on. This is a minute. Wait. 806. 8 seconds. Hold on, y'all. Make sure y'all hitting that like button. Okay, here we go. Here we go. It's still in my CapCut. I put my earphones on. Make sure y'all listen good. Because you know, this is the same person who's out here saying that her first baby daddy always been there. You know, he always stepped. But in this video, RH is on camera talking about um bitter baby mamas, and she just so happened to feel like interjecting to talk about bitter baby daddies or deadbeat baby daddies. He didn't ask her to get on camera and say that, which you will clearly hear in this clip. Hold on.
Being in front of your kids, none of that. But the bitter stuff is like when you especially see when you got a good baby daddy. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm just saying, that's like, when I heard that people would, I would not have a good baby daddy. Okay? Yeah. But I got my husband now, so I don't really care about that. But I'm just saying, there's plenty of women out here that would to have a baby daddy like my husband.
What you say? Hold on, let's run it back. Let me see if I can pick up the volume. Hold on, y'all.
Being in front of your kids,
let me line it up on all the parts. Like I said, notice how he was talking and she cut him off so she can let everybody know that her first baby daddy is non-existent, but she don't care because she got her husband. Interesting. Hold on.
But I'm just saying to have a.
All right, let's start it over.
Being in front of your kids, none of that. But the bitter stuff is like when especially when you got a good baby daddy. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm just saying, like, when I heard that people would, I would not have a good baby daddy. Yeah. But I got my husband now, so I don't really care about them. But I'm just saying, there's plenty of women out here that would to have a baby daddy like my husband.
What you say? Somebody help me out, because I'm confused. I'm confused. And that you know what, y'all? It's given. That's why it's so much smoke for him now with the first baby daddy, because when RH was present, he didn't have to do nothing. It's giving you really mad because this man is no longer in the picture and ain't picking up your slack, and that's why you mad. That's what it's giving, y'all. Like, make it make sense. Let's run it back. For the ones in the back, make sure y'all hitting that like button. We got almost 600 people in here.
Being in front of your kids, none of that. But the bitter stuff is like when you especially see when you got a good baby daddy. Sorry to cut you off, but I'm just saying, like, when I heard that people would, I would not have a good baby daddy. Yeah. But I got my husband now, so I don't really care about them. But I'm just saying, there's plenty of women out here that would to have a baby daddy like my husband.
Girl, listen. Did he make you say that? Because y'all know it was a narrative out here that he was putting a battery in her back while they was married, right? That narrative was definitely being spun. But notice how she interjected herself into that conversation to make that statement, baby. While we out here praising a FaceTime daddy. Make it make sense. And I'm not saying don't give credit where you feel is due, but if you're going to give credit to all. Factual credit. Real credit. You still being bitter. That's the thing. Because we all know what happened with the divorce decree. We all know what happened with the custody situation. We can see that this man is spending time with y'all child. So why are you acting like he's a DB when he ain't? That's the part I don't understand, y'all. It's giving bitter baby mama. Like, make it make sense. Definitely a behavioral pattern. Discussion board. Definitely that. Just give credit where it's due, proper credit. If you really want peace, if you really want women to side with you, you need to set a real example. Because right now, you said it's so much gaslighting, so much contradiction, so much hypocrisy. It's crazy. And the real ones, the real steppers, the real women ain't going for that. Real women ain't standing for that or standing behind you with the BS. You gonna get a whole bunch of bitter baddies, bitter baby mamas, scorn women that's gonna side with you. That look at your baby daddy and see their baby daddy. See they ex. That's what you gonna get. But clearly that's not what you want, because you constantly coming on the internet popping off and like, oh, why don't women stand together? And girl, bye. You want women to stand behind foolishness? No. Real women ain't standing for that. Hey, dreamy girl. Real women not standing for that. Thank you for that cash app, Miss Lolita. I appreciate you, my girl. Real women are not standing for the foolishness. No matter how much you might be idolized, looks ain't everything to everybody. Sometimes you got to bring a little more to the table, baby. And you could tell women who, and this is what, bruh, they really be letting this girl play in their face. You could tell women, the real women who been lookers, let me say that, all their life, and ain't just all of a sudden started glowing up because they move different. Everything ain't always about how they look. because they know they bring more to the table than just some looks. It ain't always about how you look. What else can you offer? That's a real woman conversation. What can you bring to the table besides glitz and glamour? Because that ain't gonna keep no relationship. Child. Hold on, y'all. It's something else she posted. Let me pull it up. All right. So this is another one. Make sure y'all running them lights up. We got 577 in the building. Hit that like button for your girl. So she says, I do not want to be 40. Oh, and let me say this because I see a lot of people saying pop, she copy and pasting. That's obvious, y'all. We know she do that. But the reason why she do this, like most people on social media, is because it's relative. People post what they can relate to, possibly what they're experiencing. So that's why when I read certain things, I know she be copying and pasting, but she's posting it because she can relate to it. 9 times out of 10, she's going through it or she didn't went through it. That's why people post stuff or share stuff on social media. So she says, I do not want to be 40 looking back on my 30s the same way I'm looking back on my 20s right now. Because the way I poured, the way I sacrificed, the way I settled for people who wouldn't even lift a finger for me today, yeah, that version of me deserves so much more. I gave years of my life, and this is for Johnell, just to let y'all know. It's for him. She might make y'all think this is for RH, but this is for Johnell. This is for her current situation. Don't be fooled. So it says, yeah, that version of my wait, hold on. That version of me deserves so much more. I gave years of my life, not months, moments, but years to the people I wouldn't give a second glance to now. And the worst part, I did it all while convincing myself that it was love, that it was loyalty, that it was the right thing to do. If y'all remember, thank you, Miss Nina. Thank you for that super chat blessing, my love. You say, look, I keep putting it on the floor. 2025, the receipts don't lie, baby. Thank you, my girl. If y'all remember when she did, um, what was it? It was one of her crash out sessions, the first one on Instagram, the one where she was talking about him plucking boogers on her and putting it on the wall and her arm and stuff. That one. When she started saying how he be in other women DMs, begging bees to mess with him, and she was like, "Oh, it's giving you knew you was ugly," and well, I pulled this one, so let me see if I could pull another one. Basically saying he was smelling himself, and because she thinks very highly of herself, looks wise, she felt like because she gave him a chance he started smelling himself and going into other women's DMs to see if he could push his luck. That's what she was saying, right? So when I'm reading this post, it's kind of validating that. That's why I said this post is for him. So she said to people I wouldn't give a second glance to now. And the worst part, I did it all while convincing myself that it was love, that it was loyalty, that it was the right thing to do. Truth is, I was just trying to save people who didn't want to be saved, trying to love people who hadn't even figured out how to love themselves. And while I was doing all that, I was neglecting the hell out of me. And here's the thing, because like we stress pattern of behavior, this is where a real support system comes in and supports for real. It's time out for the BS. It's time out for the enabling of behaviors. It's time out for the sweeping of stuff under the rug, for the making excuses. This girl needs help. She needs therapy. It's no way she's really in therapy right now and she's still making the same mistakes over and over. Therapy is supposed to help you evolve, help you unpack your trauma. How? I'm convinced that the whole "oh, I'm in therapy" wasn't true because there's no way. It's no way. If you truly in therapy, therapy is going to help you stop making the same mistake. Make it make sense. That's what her support system should be doing, encouraging her to stop. Like at this point, baby, you need to listen. Let that man go. Work on yourself. Work on your mental, so you could be healthy and you could be good for your babies. So they become a product of their environment, an abusive environment, might I add. Work on yourself, your mental. Get better so you don't become so codependent upon a man, because that's what it is. Anytime you in a situation where you can't function if you don't have a man around, baby, you need to work on yourself. You need some extensive therapy. Because, and this is not just me saying this. If y'all remember, she did that live stream where she was still pregnant with the twins at the time, and she was saying how she couldn't function. And the day before she did that live stream, she had just crashed out on Johnell on the internet. So the next day she was crying all in the doctor's office saying, I'm a robot in front of my kids. I can't function. I'm trying to keep on, a good face for them and this and that. That's bad. That shows codependency. I know somebody in real life like that that's currently in therapy to get better for her kids. Because she's codependent just like that. Anytime a woman starts talking about suicidal thoughts over a man because a relationship is not working out, that's not healthy, y'all. And we done seen that twice in this saga. First with RH and now with Johnell. That's not healthy. While y'all over there saying the ex-husband need help. And I'm not saying this to pick at her or anything. I'm saying this genuinely because of them cheering. She need to get right for her baby. Bump the fake God post and I'm God's child and all this and that. That's all cool. But when you really get right with God, you don't move like this. A person who's really right with God don't move the way she moves. And that's why she gets so many posts criticizing her, talking about you can't praise God one day and the devil the next. Because people are seeing it. They're not just saying that for no reason. They seeing what's going on. Hey, Harmony, sister. I see people saying, hey, I don't even see you in the comments. But hey, my girl. They not just saying that, y'all. They seeing the behaviors. And the fact that she don't take heed to constructive criticism is even worse. Because it be her supporters. That's your supporters that's telling you that because they want to see you do better. Older, wiser women. That's the women you're supposed to look to for that type of advice. But if you popping off on everybody that tells you something constructive because they not enabling your behavior, baby, that's bad. You ain't gonna never get right. Everybody not out to get you. Like, make it make sense. Everybody's not out to get her. And that's why I say this genuinely, y'all. I don't agree with her behavior, but it's not personal for me. I don't have a vendetta against her. I want to see her do better for her kids. I want to see her make amends with her ex-husband so they can co-parent properly for their baby girl. Because everything that the adults do affect the kids. And we all know that because we was once kids in, not everybody, but some of us was once those kids in that type of environment. At least one in three people got a story to tell. At least 1 out of 3 women has a story to tell, whether it's from childhood or adulthood. And that's crazy. And that's why when I be saying, bro, what about the babies? Like, is anybody thinking about the kids? Because at the end of the day, They will be affected by all of this foolishness on the internet. Period. They will be affected. And it's sad. It's sad because when I think about my kids, I'm like, bruh, they will never see me cutting up on the internet like this. They will never see it. They will never see it. It's not gonna happen. They ain't gonna see me putting my business out here. They ain't gonna see none of that. While you and that's why it's hard to even take her serious when I'm a step for my kids. Ain't nobody finna bully my kids. Ain't nobody finna play with my kids. Even though we know it's not that, but are you it's hard to take you serious because you allow so much. We didn't got a glimpse into your life and seen some of the things that take place in front of your babies, and you worried about people on social media. You need to get your house right first, baby. You want people to take you serious? You need to get your house in order first. Because guess what? When them babies get older, guess who they gonna blame for them being effed up mentally? Guess who they gonna blame? They ain't gonna blame Johnell. They gonna blame Mama because Mama is the one who had him around. That's just like if it was me. If I had my kids in that type of environment, boys specifically, guess who they gonna blame? They can't blame the other party can't hold some of the blame, but at the end of the day, it's you that's having them in that environment in the first place. And you could come on social media and deny the allegations or whatever all you want, oh, that's not happening. Y'all ain't seen the receipt or y'all ain't heard it from me. When you know every text message that Dawn put out here aligned with her story time, make it make sense. Because they were saying Dawn messages was fake. Well, how was they fake when it was literally aligning with everything she said in her story time? So I'm confused. Like, don't let that go over your head because it aligned, baby. It aligned with not just Dawn. A lot of the people that they claim were liars when they came out here and came from under the cult mentality. A lot of their stories align with what Laonia came out here and said on her When a Woman Sped Up story time. But those women were liars, remember? Keep the play, y'all. While we talking about proof, even saying, oh, I don't care if they talk about me. I don't care if they, how she said that? I don't care if they talk about me. I don't care if they say what I said, but don't lie on me. Don't defame me. Who's doing that? Baby, you done gave us so much content to where we barely got to give commentary. You didn't post so many posts and deletes to where we barely have to even speak on what you put out because it's so much receipts and footage from just you, the horse's mouth. Nobody needs to defame you. But if you want to push that narrative, to a child, she push that narrative to make it sound good. It's crazy, but I'm trying to figure out how somebody defamed her when they're literally just speaking on what she put out. Now, it'll be easy to get a defamation case if you barely put anything on the internet and people just, throwing stuff out there. But we don't have to do that in this case because you put everything out yourself. Nobody has to defame you or add stuff to your story. You do it yourself. Like, I laughed at it. So hold on, y'all. Let's see. Who sent me that? Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Thank you, Miss. Wait, I don't be wanting to say y'all government name. I'm gonna just say Miss Edmonds. Thank you, Miss Edmonds, for that Cash App blessing. I appreciate you, my love. I didn't want to say your first name. Okay, let me finish reading this to y'all. So it says, hold on. Let me see. Where did I stop off at? Okay. To people I wouldn't give a second glance to now. And the worst part, I did it all while convincing myself that I was love. I mean, that it was love, that it was loyalty, that it was the right thing to do. Truth is, I was just trying to save people who didn't want to be saved. She says, trying to love people who hadn't even figured out how to love themselves. And this, she's literally speaking about herself. Hold on, y'all. If y'all notice, if y'all really pay attention to the things that she says in these posts, she's talking about herself. In her mind, she's convinced herself that she's some sort of savior when it comes to these relationships. Like she has a savior mentality as if she's the one that's, I don't know if it's because she provides financially, because she's the paymaster, because she be doing so much financially for these men. But she really convinced herself that everybody that comes to her is the problem and she's the savior. Pay attention to the things that she say when she posts certain things. It's definitely given narc traits, narc qualities. It's given it. So hold on. Let me see. Where did I stop? She says, truth is, I was just trying to save people who didn't want to be saved, trying to love people who hadn't even figured out how to love themselves. And while I was doing all that, I was neglecting the hell out of me. So now I owe myself a whole decade of being selfish. When you gonna do that? That's the thing, because in all actuality, I agree with you. It's really time for some self-love, self-esteem, high self-esteem, high self-respect. To focus just on you and your children. It's time for that. It's time out for relationships, baby. You yourself admitted that you jumped into this relationship too soon, before you even healed from your marriage. She said that herself. So it is time to focus on yourself. And that's the thing. If you really want women out here respecting you as a woman, you need to stand on what you say. Because all this bipolar behavior on social media, 1 minute you saying this, 1 minute you saying that. If you really that girl, like you say, stand on what you say. Stand on what you say. Focus on yourself. Come out here with some real truth, real transparency, real accountability. That's how you get real respect. But when you coming out here and saying certain things and people know it's something different because you done been throwing rocks and hiding your hands constantly, you ain't gonna get no respect like that. You won't. Because that's exactly what I be saying. Like, she won't get no respect, y'all. You want people to respect you? Come out here and take real accountability. And that's why I can't stand when they say, oh, she's the only one took accountability. That's a lie. That's a lie. I posted a whole video of RH saying, y'all leave her alone. She cannot handle this. Even though we not together, she's still family. That's still my child's mother. He took accountability on multiple videos and tried to wish her well and, wish for peace. Even made posts. She shared it, commented on it, then deleted it shortly after because she blames him for what everybody does on social media. Everybody who don't like her behavior, she blames him for it as if he's a puppet master. And that's why she'll never have no peace until she let that go. People dislike your behavior because of you, baby. It has nothing to do with your ex-husband. It's how you move. It's because of you throwing rocks and hiding your hands, your action. And it brings me back to that 911 call. That call went viral. Millions of views on multiple creators' platforms, not just RH. People seen and heard the 911 operator ask you, can you get yourself somewhere safe because you was frantic, because you was crying and carrying on. That's why she asked you that. And then you said, no, I can't. He's following me and he got a pum pum. That lady didn't ask you if he had any weapons. She didn't say that. Yes, they do ask that eventually, but she never asked you that. You try to paint a narrative on social media because people were in an uproar about what you said and volunteered, because you volunteered that information in a frantic mode, knowing the outrage that it was going to cause by the police. Anytime a woman, because at that point they didn't even know your race, baby. They didn't know if you was white or black. Anytime a woman calls 911 in that type of mindset and that type of emotion, and tell the operator that a man has a pum pum, baby, they coming out GUNs a blazing. They came out there with the dog. They brought the dogs to your house. Your daddy was there also. Them YT police officers, all they see when they pull up is two black men. And not knowing which one had the pum pum, because you said that on your 911 call. You have yet to take accountability for that. And you triggered multiple people behind that. That wasn't even just about RH. And that's the problem with social media. That's the problem within this sector. See, in her mind, she's thinking that has only to do with their situation. But once it comes to the internet and it goes viral, the reason why TRIGGER is even a word, because you can set off multiple people based on their personal experiences with certain situations that are relative. Make it make sense. So guess how many people you possibly triggered behind that 911 call? Guess how many? Guess how many black men you possibly triggered behind that call? While we saying we took accountability already. Make it make sense. Even your daddy was shocked. Your daddy was surprised when RH said she told them I had a pum pum. He said she did what? Why was your daddy surprised? And then you got grown, dusty women. I had to say that. I had to throw a little insult because I don't like how they start acting. Out here making excuses for her, saying, well, he do have a pum pum. What? Did he have it in that moment? So basically, when y'all say that, that make me think that a black man deserves to be unalive because they got a pum pum, because they own and possess a pum pum. That's where my mind goes. What about y'all? What about y'all, Chad? That's where my mind goes. When we start making excuses for bad behavior just because it's a woman. So because he own a pum pum, he deserved to be unalive in a situation? Because we all know, based on her behavior and her emotional state during that 911 call, what could have came from that? He's following me and he got a pum pum. We all know what could have came from that. Come on now, let's not play crazy. Because that's exactly what a lot of women were doing, saying, well, we seen the pum pum in other videos. We also know he didn't have it. He wasn't holding her hostage in that moment. We also know the police searched the property and he told them it was in his vehicle. She also got on the Bates interview the Bay's platform and said, because what's her name? Charmaine said, well, maybe next time, you can say it differently. Like, yeah, we own weapons, but they're not currently in the home because, of the outrage and certain things that happen with our black men. Charmaine even told her that. She said, well, did he have the pum pum? She said, no, but they didn't know that, because how can you know that if you're not seeing him? He's recording me. You're only seeing me. He admitted on the base interview that he did not have a pum pum. So I'm confused. She said that. And that's why the base told her, well, maybe next time instead. But you know what? To be honest, I feel like they should have called her out on her ish. No, don't tell her, well, maybe next time. Put it on the floor, because she shouldn't have did it, period. That's a grown woman who knows what happens in those type of situations. They cowered down in that moment because they didn't want to be wrong. They just wanted a viral moment, because they definitely went viral off of that interview, and they definitely were biased big time. Especially that fake therapist that got up there, who was in LaTruth hate group, posting RH's every move, and had the nerve to go on that interview and try to act like she was unbiased in the beginning, but then start drilling down on them as the conversation went on. She was a Hive member before that interview happened. That's how you know that was some dog-ish. That's why I say, when I say it's so many different layers to this, y'all, it's so many moving parts. That's what I mean. Like, if people only knew. So let me see where we stop. So now I owe me. I owe myself a whole decade of being selfish. And I'm not just talking about stacking money and taking vacations, though that's part of it too. I'm talking about protecting my time, preserving my peace, honoring my intuition, and giving my energy to things that actually nourish my spirit instead of drain it. At what point do you do that? That's the question. Because it's given that you post these type of posts because they sound good, but we not walking it like we talk it. At what point do we actually start believing what we say? Because in order for other people to follow suit and believe what you say, you gotta actually do it. The actions have to align, baby. You want people to do what you don't do? You gotta be a little more convincing. As an influencer, people are seeing you come on here, be outraged about a Bruce 1 minute, and the next minute post baby boy clips in your story like a Bruce is okay. I'm confused. Thank you, one of a kind, for your support, my love. You can't do that. You cannot do that as an influencer. And that's the part that a lot of people are missing when they want to say, "Oh, why I don't understand why they hate this girl so much." And I don't think that's what it is. I think it's the hate of the behavior. You are an influencer over the youth, not just elderly women. You have millions of followers, but you're promoting toxicity. And you might not think you're doing it intentionally, but you are. When you come out here crying and carrying on, being outraged, wanting everybody to hate the man you with because you mad at him, then deleting it and wanting everything to go back to normal, that's promoting toxicity. That's not, oh, I just want to be transparent and show people that you can be human and da 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 da, and everybody go through stuff. Yeah, everybody go through stuff, but you don't have a page with 1,000 followers. You got millions. You don't get to move like everybody else. Sorry. Unfortunately, you don't. Unfortunately, you don't. They just, they tend to compare to the real Beyonce. Imagine if she was out here carrying on like that. You really think people wouldn't say nothing? Yes, it will be a lot of outrage and uproar because of the simple fact that when you have people, very impressionable teenagers, whatever you want to call it or whatever, following you your every move, wanting to be like you, inspired, that's when people step in, especially when it's bad behavior that's being displayed. You don't have a normal following to where you can just come online and cry about your baby daddy and everything is good. And that's the thing I think she don't understand. She still has yet to separate that mindset, y'all. She's still living back when before our age. When she barely had any followers, when she would only get 30 something people on a live, if that. She's still living in that mindset. That's the part she's not understanding. You can't do that. Yeah, granted, everybody don't know you. You know what I'm saying? You're not well known. Because there's a lot of people that don't know her or RH. And I learned that within the saga. I see certain comments, people like, who are these people? They don't know them. You know, it's not a whole, even though they're known by millions, it's think about it, it's still a whole lot of other millions out there that don't know certain people. But it's just the fact, like, you still have, you still are considered an influencer. You promote yourself as an influencer slash public figure. So guess what? You got to take the good with the bad. You got to take everything that comes with that. Thank you, Tanaya, my love. Thank you for supporting my goal. Hey, Miss Pamela, you got to take everything that comes with it. You don't get to pick and choose what you want to be associated with a certain um title. You got to take everything that comes with it, including the criticism. So, hold on, y'all. Let's see where we at. She says, I owe myself silence when the world gets too loud. I owe myself boundaries when people try to get too close without deserving me. I owe myself love, the kind I kept trying to hand out to everyone else like I was Oprah. You get some love, you get some love, you get some love. No more. Love starts at home, and baby, I'm the home. So, yeah, this next decade is personal. I don't want to keep learning the same lessons in new bodies. I don't want to keep confusing potential for peace. I don't want to be 40 and still trying to recover from stuff I could have healed from. Now, if I just chose me for once, I'm choosing me now, loud, unapologetically, and with all the love and loyalty I used to waste on people who never deserved. If you're gonna be about it, be about it. That's the problem. That's where the problem coming in. If you're gonna do that, do that. Do that. Set an example. Set an example. Now you need to ask RH forgiveness. And you see, Miss Rebecca, here's the thing when it comes to that, right? In her mind, even though we feel like he's definitely owed an apology because of look at what he's still experiencing. And I don't think she sees that. It's only me. They talking about me. They keep talking about me. I'm going through this. But she's not looking at it from his side either, right? Because she's still blinded by hate towards him for him dissolving that marriage. That's what I think. She's still blinded because of the hate for that. But look at it from his lens, from what he's experiencing. While it's all about me, when you the one who brought y'all business to the internet in the first place, he didn't ask for that. He tried to fix it. And then y'all say, oh, he lied and said it was a skit. I would have lied and said it was a skit too, to try to avoid what they didn't been through. Look at what happened because of people not believing it was a skit. They still being affected, both parties. And for the longest, she tried to act like she was winning. Oh, God just keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me, baby. For somebody that say they so blessed, you wouldn't be fighting as hard as you fighting to shut up people on the internet. No, ma'am. Make it make sense. Like I don't understand it. Look at it from his perspective and stop trying to place blame on him for the criticism that you are receiving on the internet. He is not liable. He's not responsible for the backlash that you are receiving from your action. You affected people in a negative way based on your actions. The 911 call, the fake DV plots, everything that you still doing out here is repetitious. So when we speak on consistent dialogue, consistent content, consistent behavior, your behavior is consistent. People still talking about you because you still doing stuff. You forgot you just came out here 4 months ago and exposed your third baby daddy. You ain't been quiet. You have periods where you're quiet. And it definitely ain't been no consistent 2 years. And if you are throwing rocks high in your hands, and when we say that, you definitely putting out subliminals, like the post I just read. That's what we be talking about. If you truly healed, you truly God's child, you truly want peace, you'll make it right. Sometimes we have to be the bigger person in a situation. And because your people are ran like a cult, you need to be the bigger person. That's what people want to see. People want to see you be the bigger person for once. Not fake be it. Because that's what's been happening. Oh, I'm the only one who took accountability. Child by. Accountability where? We seen you allow Johnell to antagonize RH. Now you letting Sleepy do it. Now you letting him do it. At what point did the accountability stick? When people are still doing things in the name of you. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. People that support you are doing things in the name of you. When it comes to RH, nobody's doing it in the name of him. They're doing it because it's right. That's the difference. We standing on the truth over here. It ain't in the name of him. It's in the name of all men, period. It's the right thing to do. That's the part I don't understand. At some point, if you, like I said, if you really God's child, if you really want peace, you're going to be the bigger person. Because at the end of the day, you might feel that nobody is taken away from the fact that you had a toxic marriage. Nobody is saying that RH is perfect and he was God's gift to woman and wife and, he was just this perfect. Nobody ever said that. Y'all got to listen. Take your emotions out of it. What people are saying is, we seen y'all was toxic. Everybody heard the audios and seen everything. We know y'all marriage was toxic. Y'all were toxic to each other. It's life. It happened. They got people that's going through toxic marriages that's still together, withstanding the storm. Y'all just didn't make it. And it probably could have if you wouldn't have brought it to the internet. You had a basic marriage. That's how I look at it. Because from what we heard, y'all could have got through that. What you brought to the internet and amplified, you could have got through that, baby. They got people that had been married for 50, 60 years that then went through way worse. That's why that man don't deserve to be drugged the way he's being drugged. And it's all at the hands of your people and your actions. Because you couldn't handle not being in that marriage. That man is still being drugged, being accused of being a bruiser, when we all seen all the receipts, all the details, etc. If we gonna call one an abuser based off of verbal and mental, you gotta call both. You can't say he won without saying she's won because she did the same thing to him. And that's why I say they had a basic marriage that was amplified once it was brought to the internet. You know doggone well that man don't deserve to be called an abuser on the internet and be drugged the way he's being drugged. You have to remember you the one who brought y'all business to the internet. Like, I just don't understand it. And that's why she needs to take true accountability and make peace in this situation. If you really want women, real women, to respect you, I ain't talking about the ones that's going to kiss you, you know what, and enable you. I'm talking about the women who see the bull and call it out. If you want them women to respect you, you got to do the right thing. Nobody's saying you have to bow down. People saying you need to fix what you broke. Because at the end of the day, if that man was so bad, you wouldn't have want to reconcile that marriage. The marriage that I add was the second one. Because you married him twice and paid for it. Gotta keep throwing that in. And you still wanted your kids to have a relationship with him after y'all broke up. Gotta add that in too. While we playing. If that man was so bad, you wouldn't have told a judge that you was forced out of your marriage, ma'am. Let's keep that in mind for the ones in the back, right? Because you know you got a lot of people out here that's just saying things and they don't even know all the details. The divorce decree says by the respondent, which is her, that she was forced out of her marriage due to irreconcilable differences. I thought she got out because he was abusing her. That's what she said on social media. Right, chat? Didn't she tell us she got out? I can help you get out too with resources and stuff and this and that. I got out and you can too. I'm going to be the poster child for DV women, survivors and victims. Didn't she say that? But your divorce decree says you was forced out of your marriage due to irreconcilable differences. But you made the world believe that you were an abuse victim who got out. While we over there saying nobody knows what happened in their home. Well, that's what she put on the divorce papers. I'm confused because we went on DV tour after DV tour trying to paint this man as the devil. All to read a divorce decree that says I was forced out of my marriage due to irreconcilable differences. I am confused because I thought we got out. I thought we escaped abuse. 6 years of gaslighting, 6 years of being choked and dragged across the floor. Can you imagine your children screaming, knocking on the door, let my mommy out. Please let my mommy out. That don't sound like somebody that would have to be forced out of a marriage. While you got people still caping and enabling behaviors and calling this man everything but a child of God. Why did she have to be forced out of that marriage if she left? She told us she left. Remember? I left. I left that marriage. But the divorce decree says you were forced out. Am I tripping? Or do we need to pull it up for the ones in the back? Hold on. Before we get off here, let me pull it up. Let me pull that up real quick. Because I feel like people be, getting it a little misconstrued. A little construed. Hold on, y'all. Let's see where it's at. Because, yesterday we went over the lie detector test that didn't mention physical, anything. Okay, let's see. Hold on, y'all. Uh, Let me send this to my email real quick, baby. It was also said that he was holding up the marriage because he wanted half of her money. That also was a lie. She was the one holding it up. She wanted alimony. That's all in the divorce decree. Don't take my word for it. Please don't take my word for it. Read it for yourself. You know, since they say we be saying anything, it's public record. Go read it for yourself. For the ones that's still saying she left him. Let's pull this up real quick. Hold on, y'all. Let's pull this up. I think a lot of people be getting it confused. Let me take my girl Tanaya off of here. Thank you, my love, for your super support. Present, share screen. All right, here we go, y'all. Here we go. Let's see if I can make it bigger. Why didn't hold on? Should be making it should be bigger. Hey, okay. So, and this ain't even the whole thing, y'all. I actually did a live where I read it out. You just will have to go back, right? So it says petitioner. Petitioner is RH, meaning he's the one who filed for the divorce. She's the respondent. Were lawfully married on August 30th, 2016. The parties separated on or about 2022, and since that date have continuously lived in a bona fide state of separation, right? Respondent, being her, because she was served with divorce papers, has been forced to separate from petitioner on the grounds that the marriage is irretrievably broken with no hope for reconciliation. That's what she said. That was her response, y'all. And respondent has committed the act of cruel treatment. Respondent reserves the right to amend her counterclaim at a later time during these proceedings if necessary. Respondent should be awarded temporary and permanent alimony in all forms from petitioner for her support and maintenance. But she was the breadwinner, remember? And he was broke. How you get alimony from a broke man? I'm confused. I'm confused. Hmm. Just her response is contradicting, right? And that's another. You see, I'm glad I reread this because I didn't even clock that, y'all. Even her response is contradicted because how you tell these people, and mind you, on the initial response, because this part was added. The part where it says respondent has committed the act of cruel treatment, that was added. But initially, it was just this. Respondent has been forced to separate from petitioner on the grounds that the marriage is irretrievably broken with no hope for reconciliation. So, if the marriage is irretrievably broken with no hope of reconciliation, that's basically saying that he didn't want to reconcile. He was done. He was done. We even heard recordings of people, third party, the Rices being one, and Kevin being a third party. Also, we heard a recording where she was crying, saying all she wanted to do was fix her marriage. But RH didn't want to. Same goes for the Rices. He didn't want to reconcile. She hadn't did too much on the internet, right? So with the act of let me put y'all on game too. When you file for act of cruel treatment, guess what falls under that? A bruise. But guess what? You have to prove it. That's why she didn't get alimony, baby. Had she would have proven a bruise, she would have gotten alimony. There are no, if you go through these records, baby, you won't see nothing about a bruise. Don't, like I said, don't take my word for it. Go and look it up yourself. It's public record. Public record. But, like I said, keep in mind, wasn't she telling us that RH wanted half her money? Y'all remember when she did that interview? I'm not interview. When she did that live stream with the registered PDF file. I'm not gonna say his name on my platform. Y'all remember when she did that live with him on Instagram? And she was praising him for speaking out publicly because she said most men, they only say it in my inbox, but I just want to thank you and praise you because you give you your flowers because you came out. She was willing to work and give him a part in a movie, Tainted Love movie that was written by Lakeisha Rice. They no longer in communication. That LaOnya was supposed to fund financially, but didn't because of Johnell. She was willing to give the registered pedophile a part in that movie alongside her and her co-star, Johnell, just because he came out and started dragging her ex-husband. Which is crazy work. And in that live stream, if y'all remember, she said that he's holding up the divorce because he wants half of my money. Who remember that? I have that clip also. I just don't feel like looking for it. But I have that clip where she said that. He's holding up the divorce because he wants half my money. I ain't giving you half an inch. Right? But here, it said respondent should be awarded temporary and permanent alimony in all forms from petitioner for her support and maintenance. I thought we said RH wanted alimony. Anyways, y'all. That's why I say when I say it's a lot of moving parts within this saga, it's a lot of moving parts, y'all. So much then transpired. If you new to the saga, if you just started following, I suggest you go back and watch the older videos because it's a lot to catch up on. Like it's a whole lot, for real, for real. And that's why I like to go back and do, like recaps and members only for the members and stuff like that so they can see what's going on, what did happen, what all that took place. But like I said, if you knew, you'd have to go watch old videos to try to catch up. Because it's at a whole new level now. New players and all. But anyways, y'all, we almost at the 2-hour mark. I'm finna get up off here. It is Friday. I'm about to work on these videos for y'all. I'm about to drop one, so y'all be looking for it. I got one part left to add to it, and then I'm gonna drop that one, and I'm gonna start on another one. Okay. But anyways, I love y'all. I hope y'all enjoy y'all Friday. Shout out to all 500-600 of y'all that been in here rocking with your girl. Please hit the like button. If you are not a member, I ask that you grab a membership. If you want to support me, like I said, I get a lot of people who be like, "Pop, I don't have Cash App, I don't have PayPal, but I want to support you financially." I did add another tier to members only. That tier is specifically for it's called Lupac Loyals. If you don't have Cash App, PayPal, you want to support because I didn't got a bunch of comments like that. You can get that tier. It's not mandatory, but if you want to support. But shout out to y'all. I will be having a members only live Sunday. So I look forward to that. We're going to turn up. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Okay, like we always do. But anyways, I love y'all and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, y'all.
That goes by. People always ask me why black holes. Listen up, baby girl, shit, I'm about to let you know why I always got a black holes. Whoa. They talking shit up in my comments. Yeah, they don't know, but I'm about to block them. Cause every day, I block holes. They be being shady, yeah. Cause you know I block holes, baby. In different area codes, baby. You never know, but I block